All right, today we're going to dive into something pretty fascinating: the real, often subtle signs of high intelligence. We're going to explore what I like to call an intellectual blueprint, those psychological patterns and habits that usually fly under the radar, but are actually true hallmarks of a really sharp mind. So, when you think of someone who's smart, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Is it crazy high IQ scores? Perfect grades? Well, the truth is, intelligence is so much more nuanced than that. And today, we're going to challenge that whole common perception. You see, true intelligence doesn't always show up in big, flashy achievements. More often than not, it reveals itself in our quiet, everyday habits. It's all about the psychological patterns that shape how we think, how we interact with others, and even how we spend our time when we're all alone. Okay, let's start with the first set of habits. These all fall under what we're calling the curious mindset. This is all about our internal world, how highly intelligent people actually process information and see the world around them. The first habit is something called productive overthinking. Now, I know, overthinking usually has a really negative ring to it, doesn't it? But this is different. This isn't about worry or stress. It's about having this deep-seated curiosity that just drives you to analyze situations, to question your gut feelings, and to explore ideas from every possible angle. Now, check out this comparison because it really draws a clear line in the sand. Curiosity-driven thinking is always asking why, which, opens up doors to new insights. Anxiety-driven thinking, on the other hand, just gets totally stuck on what if and worries about all the bad things that could happen. It's really the difference between exploring a maze and being trapped in one. And this kind of productive overthinking doesn't just happen randomly. It's fueled by this almost insatiable hunger for learning. People with this trait are constantly asking questions, constantly seeking out new information, and not to show off, but because they have this genuine, deep desire to understand how things really work. Okay, so let's move on to our next section and see how this all builds. We're going to shift from the internal world of our thoughts to the external world of social interaction with what we call the social observer. In a social setting, a key indicator of intelligence isn't being the loudest person in the room. In fact, it's often the complete opposite. You'll find that highly intelligent individuals frequently prefer to listen way more than they speak. And why is that? Well, because they're constantly gathering data. What they're doing is called active observation. They aren't just passively hearing words go by. No, they listen intently. They notice all the subtle little nuances in someone's tone or their body language, and they really grasp the emotion underneath it all. They're picking up on tons of information that most people just miss entirely. All right, now for a question that might sound a little backwards at first. Could self-doubt actually be a strength? I mean, we're always told to be confident, right? But what if a little bit of doubt is actually a sign of higher intelligence? And this leads us right to this really cool concept called intellectual humility. Now, this has nothing to do with having low self-esteem, not at all. It's the profound awareness that you just don't know everything and that there is always more to learn. It's the very thing that keeps your mind open to new ideas and stops you from becoming intellectually arrogant. And that brings us perfectly to our final theme for today: the power of quiet. This focuses on a habit that is deeply, deeply connected to everything else we've talked about so far. A lot of highly intelligent people genuinely enjoy their own company, but it's so important to understand why. For them, solitude isn't about being lonely or antisocial. It's really about creating space. That quiet time is absolutely essential for them to recharge, to process all of that information they've been absorbing through their curiosity and their observation, and just to let new ideas form and connect. It's in that quiet where the real deep thinking happens. So let's just do a super quick recap of this intellectual blueprint. We've seen that intelligence shows up as productive, curiosity-driven overthinking, a constant nagging desire to learn more, being a keen observer in social settings, having the humility to know you don't know it all, and finally a genuine appreciation for just being in solitude. And that leaves us with one final thought to take with you. Looking at this blueprint, which of these quiet daily habits do you recognize in yourself, or maybe in the people around you? It's a pretty fascinating question to think about. Thanks so much for joining me.